So I was careless. I left my GoPro and I got distracted when a friend came to visit and it got rained on. So I'm on my phone. I returned after the weekend. It's Monday and I did a lot of digging last time and I'm continuing filling in the rocks. I hope to finish this week. Hopefully I can get some help, but this good weather is gonna end soon. I need to make the most of it. Without the GoPro, I find I do less updates, hence the break. Anyways, every day I've been working on sifting the rocks and adding it to the foundation. I worked a little bit this morning. I took a little break and now I'm getting back into it. So this is the current setup. I didn't know originally when Rigodos gave this to me, I had no idea where it would come in. However, I've made a double sieve system. This works good by it's bouncy. It's bouncy, hence some of the rocks fall onto this smaller sieve, which collects these even smaller rocks. And then I separate the lot. Otherwise, I'm worrying less about the rock sizes. I feel at 1.30 meters, it's enough space so that I can mix some of these bigger and smaller rocks together, and it shouldn't make a difference because the bottom layer is all big rocks like this. So it should serve its purpose. Anyways, back to work. So the past hour, instead of digging the foundation, I made these clay blocks. I have these, this is gravel, this is what I sieved out. Here I have some combination half and half. This has more clay. No, this has less clay, this has more clay. And then here is sand that I dug out from the foundation. And then here is half and half with gravel. As it's a little hot right now under the sun, I let the other log dry and I moved the sawhorses to lift this that I cut previously, and I need to finish cleaning it up with the draw knife and the saw. The last thing I did earlier today was make soil samples for all of the 3 soils. So I have sand from what I dug up, here's what I sieved out, and here is this gravel. So this looks to be the most fitting for clay making and for filling the top of the foundations. So here's what 4 days of progress looks like. Oh, I'm getting there. So lately, since I've been working on the house nonstop with little room for anything else, I'm living in a complete mess. I've broken my rule of no plastic. I'm just too tired and too unmotivated to cook, so I'm eating bread, butter, or oatmeal with fruit. But I'm being productive in other areas. There are a bunch of carrot seeds. I filled this whole bag full of carrot seeds. So I let it dry out today. And I also preserved some calendula seeds and some other kinds of carrots. This looks like a similar plant to the other one, but the seeds look different. They look more like dill. So for many hours on end today, all of my attention has been going on depleting this rock pile, and I feel like I made a lot of progress. I made an improvement on this. I added these safeguards so that they don't fall out of the side, and I also hacked together this here so that they don't fall off, and I added this board here so that sand doesn't fall onto here, but it aims for that thing. And I also tried using this rope by tying it to this so that when this bounces, it would bounce this as well, but it didn't turn out that useful. In any case, I deduced that this, what I dug up from here originally, is basically sand. Pure sand, basically. This is what the soil test looks like. This is what I sieved out and what I'm sieving from the pile. And so it seems to be some bigger sand and silt. And this is this mixture, just gravel. So what I decided on, so there's basically a lot more big rocks which I haven't uncovered yet, so I'm gonna throw them here, but I've got several different rock size variations. So here is one set of rock sizes, there's another smaller rock size here, and then there's the pebbles which get sieved out from the smallest sieve. And then here I cover it with a layer of that gravel, and then I top it off with the sand to level it out. Though I realize I'm going to have to raise the level of this everywhere here to be at least this high, which means adding a lot more something here. I might have to bring more stuff in from the quarry to fill this up. I left my phone to charge all of yesterday. I went and I got some new windows. I helped Rigo thus get his. And the next day, or next half of the day, I returned and I got back to work. So Rigo thus came by and helped me. And so I covered all of this further extent. And I could maybe even get this done today if I work my butt off. Especially if I get some help. So there's not much left. I want to uncover the big rocks like these. They make the hole fill up a lot faster. So we'll see how this goes. I did some tests dropping these clay bricks from a height. I find that the sand is the weakest, and here is the pure sieved out what I got from the rocks. Here is pure gravel, and I find that the mix of 50-50 gravel and what I sieved out with more clay holds out the strongest. If I drop this, it doesn't break compared to this sand block. It breaks. And similar with this half and half sand and gravel, breaks. Maybe it would be good to use the sand, gravel, and the sieved out soil. Good to know. It's noon. Worked a couple hours. And I think I'm going to finish this today. This is going by pretty fast. I'm so close. The last rock's in. Last layer. I'm finally done filling the rubble trench. Oh, this is no more a safety hazard for frogs, nor is it a bunker. Now it looks like not much was done except some carpets were added. Sure. Then I'm done with the foundation. I'm celebrating by making food for the first time. I've been too lazy to do this before. But now I'm gonna feast. Salad with bread and butter. Cloudy day update. It's not that cold, but it's not sunny. It hasn't been too sunny lately. I haven't been using this camera as much as the GoPro. I'm wrestling with what can I build right now. I received 2 books on natural wood building from Ben Law. This one's about making tools and devices for woodland crafts, and the other one ties directly to building timber frame houses. And I'm realizing that if I try to build a carcass, I'm going to be rushing it because I don't have most of the materials ready to build it. I need to build things like a corner frame for the Crucks Crucks are the pieces that cross over for the ridge, and this is all stuff I did not know existed before I started planning my house. So it's crazy how much you learn in a year. However, I still feel I need to get the materials ready before I commit to building the structure. And if I build it now and it's a snowy, wet winter, the material will just get wet. And so I'm going to put it off until drier season, but that doesn't mean I can't stop preparing the materials and setting them aside to stay dry over the season. So I'm going to try to get some Douglas fir trees, or the Lithuanian kind. My neighbor, another neighbor in the town, owns part of the forest property over there, and he said there's a bunch of dead trees that I could cut out free of charge. So I am going to get the logs for the house from there. However, I still need to clean them up, like draw knife them, prepare them like even better than this log here before I can actually use them. And I need to research if I can use green wood or does it have to dry at least somewhat. So lots of questions going on. I'm taking a break from thinking about the house to dig open this compost pile. This pile, I've been throwing stuff all season since April or so. So I want to see what's underneath in the bottom layers. This is what's underneath the top layer. This is what I'm peeing on constantly. So it's starting to turn to soil, and I know there's also some soil that I mixed in from here, so I'm not sure if it's decomposed. Let's go deeper. I dug off some more, and I'm realizing there's these slugs here. So this land was not level once I started using it as a pile. So basically this black stuff is the extent of its decomposition process. Not bad. So this pile looks like overall healthy ground. I disturbed part of it so that from now on it can be more level. On the aronia that I transplanted, it's recovered very well in this area. I'm curious to see if it will thicken up, or because it had a lot of competition, it will continue growing out. It'll be interesting to see the evolution of this. Here I'm going to uncover where over a year ago my mom helped me make a pile of ericaceous material because I need this plastic to cover my wooden logs. So let's see how it evolved. So I uncovered one of you. Let's open you up and see what you are on the inside. This looks like good mulch for the blueberries, actually. This would be great dressing. It hasn't decomposed fully. I wonder, maybe it didn't get enough wet. Like here, it got wetter. There's some... This hasn't decomposed too much in a year. Interesting. Slow decomposers. Just use the mulch from there, the needles, to mulch this area heavily and kill out all the other smaller weeds. We'll see how much they like this material. These are the blueberries, and this is some domesticated raspberry. So as soon as I can get a strong back to help me, I'm going to move these logs and set them to sleep for winter. Here are the three of them here already. So all I need now is just some help. Thursday, I measured out where the corner posts of my house are going to be and where the corner posts will stand. But since I got the new book and I learned that I will be creating a crux, I didn't realize I need to expand this foundation. Hence, the second one I did here, I dug up. This part is all done, and I need to make a base plate for this other corner piece. And then I haven't even started the last two. So now I'm sifting rocks and trying to decrease this pile. I'll try to prepare everything so I can start as soon as possible next season. So that means leveling out the foundation and preparing the place for a frame bed. Here I just filled it up. So this whole block here is going to be connected to the house, yeah, I guess. And I'm going to do the same for every corner. And then I'm going to build this side up so it's level to the other rest of the house. This side is the lowest side of the land. The land declines down that way. I've been away from the camera while it's been charging. Since then, I've got a lot done. I prepared 3 of the 4 corners for the posts. So I decided I'm going to extend this another 30 centimeters out in this direction. So it's going to be about 4 meters and 35 centimeters, or 435 centimeters distance-wise. And then here it's still going to be 370. And I tried to raise roughly these corners to be the correct height. So these are the 2 lowest corners. I just finished now moving the clay up by the greenhouse because this clay pile was in the way. So now I'm going to go ahead and to add some extra reinforcement, I am using the leftover carpet. And so since the cruck and the corner post is going to be around here, I dug out maybe this much here, and I filled it with rocks about, I don't know, half a meter, 60 centimeters deep. And now I'm going to build upwards so that they have a stable foundation. I hope it's enough. Yeah, so now I'm just going to cover this up. There's a good engineering foundation. By using this carpet, it'll spread the load more evenly around this whole area. And yeah, it's less carpet trash floating around. And otherwise, I went ahead and I closed up everything here. I should maybe even think about what I could use as some insulation. I know they use vermiculite. However, I don't know if I can find that around here, as that's imported. So I'll think about it. Below every corner here, I basically did the same thing. I laid down some carpet and I threw this on top of it. And it should reinforce the layer that's underneath it so it doesn't come loose with the extra weight on top. And now I just got to cut it and cover it. So here I got the 4th corner up to the right height. So these 2 are about level. The next task for when I return is to dig all the top healthy soil out. I wanted to see how much work this would be, so I dug out this much. I'm only going to dig out this much of the topsoil and then backfill it with sand. Rigodas just came by serendipitously and told me that they used to backfill with sand instead of rocks. So I have that whole pile. I'd be happy to get rid of it into here. Although this is a job for next week.